You've been told one thing your entire life: save money, build an emergency fund, play it safe. And if you followed that advice faithfully, this part may sting. That strategy is making you poorer. Not because saving is immoral, not because discipline is useless, but because the world that advice was designed for no longer exists. If you're using a financial playbook written for 1985, you're not being conservative. You're being exposed. Most people already feel this, even if they can't explain it. You work consistently, you save responsibly, you avoid obvious mistakes, and yet, year after year, you feel behind. The frustration isn't that you lack discipline. It's that the math changed, and nobody updated the rules. You're not lazy. You're not stupid. You're operating inside a system that was redesigned without your consent. For decades, financial safety followed a simple formula: stable job, pension contributions, savings and bonds. Inflation was low. Interest rewarded patience. $1 in the bank tomorrow bought roughly what it bought today. That system is gone, and it's not coming back. Over the past 15 years, the financial system quietly inverted, not through one dramatic event, but through structure. Here's what actually changed. First, money became cheap, permanently. Near zero interest rates weren't an emergency tool. They became standard policy. Cheap money punished savers and rewarded borrowers. Cash stopped being neutral. It started decaying. If your money sits still, it shrinks. Second, ownership separated from labor. Technology and globalization capped wages, but amplified asset values. If you earn a salary, you compete globally. If you own assets, you benefit globally. Earners fell behind. Owners pulled ahead. Third, the definition of safe flipped. A savings account earning 2% used to protect you. Today, with inflation higher than that, it quietly erodes you. What feels safe now is mathematically dangerous. And this is where most people freeze. They recognize the problem, but respond the wrong way. They save harder, cut more expenses, wait longer for certainty. That response feels responsible, but average behavior produces average outcomes. Growth investors don't react emotionally. They update their framework. Here's the critical distinction. The average person thinks safety and risk are opposites. Either you protect what you have, or you gamble. That's a false choice. A growth investor understands something deeper. True safety comes from understanding systems, not hiding from them. Risk isn't the enemy. Ignorance is. The average person waits for certainty before acting. They want proof the market will rise, proof the economy is stable, proof the timing is perfect. Certainty never arrives. Growth investors don't wait for clarity. They build systems that function across uncertainty. They don't predict outcomes. They prepare for ranges. This is where patience gets misunderstood. Most people confuse patience with inaction. They tell themselves they're being disciplined when they're actually avoiding discomfort. Growth investors know the difference. Patience is a strategy executed over time. Inaction is fear dressed up as wisdom. One compounds, the other erodes. Here's the fundamental shift. The average person tries to predict the future and protect against it. Growth investors study the present and position themselves inside it. You cannot predict interest rates. You cannot predict which companies dominate a decade from now. You cannot predict politics or breakthroughs. Trying to do so is gambling disguised as planning. But you can understand incentives. You can understand that money is created faster than real value. You can understand that ownership outpaces currency. You can understand that productive assets preserve purchasing power better than idle cash. Growth investors don't guess. They build systems, not tips, not predictions, not shortcuts. Systems. There are 3 core systems that matter most. Everything else is noise. System 1. Structural diversification. Not the textbook version. Real diversification means owning assets that respond differently to the same environment. Equities, real estate, cash-flowing businesses, skills and intellectual property. Different tools for different conditions. When one struggles, another compensates. This isn't complicated. It's deliberate. System 2. Earning power compounding. Your income is an asset, and like any asset, it depreciates if ignored. Growth investors treat skill development as non-negotiable. They don't wait until they're obsolete. They upgrade continuously. This compounds quietly, then suddenly. Over decades, it becomes exponential. System 3. Rules-based capital allocation. Every dollar is a decision. The average person makes that decision emotionally, or not at all. Growth investors use structure. A percentage covers life. A percentage protects liquidity. A percentage compounds in assets. A percentage reinvests in skills. No guessing. No drifting. This removes emotion from money. And here's the overlooked part. Discipline beats intelligence in financial outcomes. Not because intelligence is bad, but because discipline compounds. Intelligence is inconsistent. Discipline is repeatable. An average person with a strong system will outperform a brilliant person without one. Every time. You are living through an inflection point. The old rules stopped working, but most people haven't accepted it yet. That delay creates opportunity. Growth investors don't chase returns. They build systems that generate returns over time. They don't need the next big idea. They need the same idea executed consistently. If you've felt the pressure, if you've sensed that the traditional path isn't enough, if you've realized that doing nothing guarantees loss, you're not behind. You're early to the correct framework. This channel exists for one reason: to help you understand how the system actually works and how to build within it calmly, intelligently, and patiently. No hype, no predictions, no promises, just systems that compound. If that way of thinking resonates with you, subscribe. Not for motivation, for frameworks that work, whether the economy cooperates or not.